Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wealthy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, and today is now deemed entitled Wealthy Wednesday. So every Wednesday we do Q&A live. I try to go for an hour, but it always goes over an hour, answering all your money questions, stocks, taxes, investments, real estate, business. If you got a question about money, I'm here to answer it. I'll just start off with a couple of things that are on my mind right now. All right, Eric, you still there? All right. I need those laughs, man. I need those laughs. Before we get started, again, I'm Kamari Ellis, the Finance Rebel. This is the Finance Rebel Show. This is our Wealthy Wednesday segment where we answer questions for an hour or more, starting at 8 p.m. every week. So today, as some questions come in, I know there's some in my inbox, but I forgot to write them down. Hopefully the people that ask those questions will join in. But I'm going to start off with something, right? We're still in the midst of COVID-19, coronavirus season, whatever you may call it. A lot of people are having problems with the whole PPP, payroll protection program, and it's exposing folks. And it's showing something that I've talked about a long time with a lot of my business owners, my small business owners. Y'all books suck, right? I can't tell you how many people I've helped over these last couple of weeks that needed help with bookkeeping, getting their numbers together. And listen, I'm not shaming anybody, but I've been talking about this for some while. I mean, I have whole videos up that talk about getting a bookkeeper or establishing an accounting system or, just having a way of processing, the money that comes into your business or the money that goes out of your business. That's basically what bookkeeping is. And none of y'all are doing it. Or I should say, a lot of y'all are not doing this. And that's not good because now in the time where we all need it, right? When we all are trying to compete and qualify for the PPP funds before they run out again, because more than likely they're going to run out again. People waited until the last minute. So listen, if you got a business, if you have a business, I am talking to you. If you have a business, you need to keep your books in order, not just to get a grant or a loan from the government, but to keep your business in order. You can't run a real business without having good books. You're going to do a couple of things. You're not going to be ready in times of crisis like right now. You're not going to be ready to help lower your tax bill, which happens every year. Most people overpay in taxes, or they just flat out lie. But most people overpay in taxes because they have shoddy books, terrible books. I know it's a pain in the behind. I don't like doing my own books, but listen, it really helps. And it helps in times when you least expect it. So do me a favor, keep better books. If you have questions about how to keep your books or what you should do, guess what? Every Wealthy Wednesday, I answer questions. So you really don't have an excuse. You really don't have an excuse to not do it. You really don't have an excuse to say, I didn't know. All right. So everybody that's watching, do me a favor. Share this video with them. Share this live with them and let them know that if people have questions about bookkeeping, they can always ask them here and I'll set them up. So, other thing I just did, my homegirl Heather, I went to high school with, has been on me. She's like, yo, I need some help. I need some advice. And I said, well, it's Wealthy Wednesday. You could always ask your advice there. And she said, listen, I'll pay you. I said, well, you don't have to. And she said, well, everybody's doing this whole support my business. You should do it too. So I posted that recently up there. I asked for $2, trying to get to 1,000. And I've got like 3 people that have given already. I didn't think anybody was going to give. I don't know why, but that's just my thought. But like I saw my man Coley gave, and then I saw like 1 or 2 others that came up as well. So I am appreciative, and I will make sure I give everybody that gives a shout out when it's all said and done. So if anybody has any questions, now's the time. Now is the time. And guess what? You don't have to do the whole support thing to get me to answer the question. But money always helps. I need some new equipment. I just had to buy a new laptop, actually computer. Bought a new computer over the weekend. But it's funny, Miss Ty EA, you just missed it. I just said that this time right now is showing how bad everybody's books are with the whole PPP pension protection program. So Miss Ty EA, which is Miss Tiny's EA enrolled agent, is like a supreme enrolled agent down in VA. So everybody say hi to Ty. But what questions does everybody have? I kind of, I got on my soapbox for a little bit. Y'all let me know what questions y'all have because I'm here to answer your questions. Until the interim, there's a lot of things going on out there. There's a lot of things going on out there. States are starting to open back up. All right, Melanie Alton, you heard anything about oil? Yeah, I did a whole video on oil. Did you watch it, Alton? USO did good, but I would not recommend anybody using USO to invest in oil. I think you said you did watch it. Today, USO closed at $18. It was up about 5.6%. So that's cool. That's cool. And everybody kind of knew that was going to happen because USO is an ETF that basically houses oil futures. When we had the big drop, when it went below negative, that was for the oil future of May or May futures. USO only holds the current month. So, again, a lot of times with futures, a lot of quirky things happen. So, yeah, I'm just going to throw a couple of terms out there. I'm not going to talk about them because they're very complex. But this is good homework for y'all, so y'all can look them up. So there's a word called contango. Look up the word or the definition, contango. Contango. Use your phonetics. It sounds just like it is. The other one is backwardation. So these are kooky things that happen with futures contracts pricing oftentimes. But y'all know my show is all for beginners. I'm not contracts or futures contracts are more for advanced folks. Market runs very fast. There's a lot of leverage involved when we talk about futures. So keep that in mind. I don't recommend futures for anybody. Yes, you can use ETFs, exchange traded funds, to get access and invest into that market. I'm afraid I'm going to say your name wrong, but welcome. I want to say Sheila or Chalet. Let me know if I said it right and correct me if I did not say it right. But welcome to Wealthy Wednesdays. So, if you want to get direct access, I would use an ETF like a USL, which carries more. It carries 12 months of futures contracts. But I'll be honest, in the video I did that's on YouTube, it's the last video I put up, I talked about how stock companies track the price of oil. So like your Exxon, your Chevrons, they pretty much all track the price of oil, or rather, their stock price tracks the price of oil. They're largely correlated. So to me, it's always better to get into the vehicle that's going to pay you while you hold it. USL, futures contracts are not going to pay you while you hold it. You never know how long it's going to take for these investments to truly pay off, right? And again, no diss to my traders, but this is not the trader platform. Okay, I think I said Chalet, right? I know I said Sheila at first, but I thought I came back and said Chalet. But thank you for that correction, and my apologies for saying it wrong. Out in the DM shooting a shot. I'm playing. But yeah, I don't really see the need to really invest in that. All right, shout out to Heather. She just sent me $10 on the Cash App. I'm joking, man. It's all jokes. Listen, I know I talk about money, and I know that's kind of nerdy, but I got jokes too now. I got a lot of jokes. So just be prepared every now and again. Every now and again, I let a few slip out. All right. So what other questions do folks have? And thank you, Heather, if you are on. It's funny, doing this whole Cash App thing got me thinking about Dr. Umar, how he be shading people on his Cash App. What he be doing is what he be doing his lives. All right, so yeah. All right, so what I was saying was, I'm sorry, I got off track. I would rather buy an ETF like an XLE or a VDE, or even honestly the actual stock. I wouldn't. I don't really see the need of buying USO. I just gave you a shout out. Thank you for the Cash App. And now Heather, because basically Heather pushed me to do the show. Heather's got me thinking like the whole time, like I just said, about Dr. Umar and how he be shading people when they be sending me money on a Cash App. But I would never do that. I would never do that. All right. So if you're just joining, today is Wealthy Wednesday. This is the day and the time that I do Q&A, questions and answers. If you know somebody that's got financial questions about stocks, investments, real estate, business, share this video with them and tell them to ask the question. Black and Blessed 215. What's up, Al? How you doing? Crump Agency. How are you? Is that who I think that is with Crump Agency? Is that Simone? So Heather, you had a question. Do me a favor, put that in the chat for me or in the comment section. And now listen, I can't stay with y'all all night. I got a whole lot of work to do. A whole lot of work to do. You got a bunch of handles. So Heather, I got 3 or 4 people that gave to the Cash App already. So thank you for bullying me to do that. Heather says I give away too much free game, since that's what everybody says these days. I don't think so, but it's all good. All right, so like I say, if we're talking about investing in oil, I wouldn't go with USO. I wouldn't try to buy directly into oil. I would buy the stock ETF. Again, look at XLE. I actually brought like a share and a half of XLE last week. And I brought some other stuff. I brought Ford. Y'all know I've been buying Ford. These are not recommendations. To y'all again, these are not recommendations. These are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I don't want anybody to say, well, Kamari told me to buy this. Kamari told me about that. No, we're just talking about it. So Melanated Alton wanted to ask if life insurance policies are tax deferred. Some of them are. The cash value life insurance is tax deferred. You have life insurance that's tax deferred. Excuse me. You have life insurance that is cash value, and you have life insurance that is not cash value. So your term life insurance does not accumulate cash. There are some new and I don't want to call them inventions, but there's some new innovations in life insurance, and I know they have like a premium, or what's it called? Help me out, y'all. They have like a return of premium rider, but term policies for the most part don't accumulate cash value. Your whole life policies accumulate cash. Your variable universal life accumulates cash, and your index universal life accumulates cash. Are you thinking about getting some life insurance, Alton? I always tell y'all I think life insurance is the best financial product ever created. You can save money on taxes. You can use it to save for retirement. Ultimately, life insurance is about replacing income. So if and when someone passes, they usually have income associated with them. Husband and wife are married. Husband isn't able to make it home from work that day. He lost a race against a train track. Didn't make it. He lost his income. His family doesn't have his income. His wife doesn't have his income, or his children don't have his income. It makes it very, very, very hard for them to continue living. That's right, Alton. You did tell me you were getting your life insurance license. Okay, well, you used to bully me, Heather. All right, so Heather's question is: should I take my money out of my deferred comp and put it in my high yield savings? And should I do the same with my CDs? Oh wow, I just got another cash app. $10. Rashawn. Thank you. Appreciate it. To the VIP suite, thank you for joining us tonight. So Heather, I don't know all your particulars, right? But just on the surface, it's a very surface response. I would say no, you should not take your deferred comp money out of the deferred comp. I'm guessing it's like a 457 plan, or maybe you work somewhere else. I don't even know where you work, Heather. But no, you shouldn't put it in your high yield savings. Now, if you are worried about your money, well, let me get some more context, right? So no, you shouldn't take it out. Stock market fell about 30% since year to date after COVID happened. It bounced about 20%. So we're only down about 10% now. And let me get the actual number. Let me get the actual number for you. Wrong page. But I know year to date, the stock market is still down about 10%, it's about 10%, about 9-10%. So what happened was, if you invest into your 457 or your deferred comp plan, every time you get paid, you're doing what's called dollar cost averaging. And so I know it's scary, right, to see your money fluctuate all the time. I know it's scary, right? But you have to recognize that the stock market is just like seasons: winter, spring, summer, fall. I'll show you that's a Levert lyric. But they're like seasons, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold. Thank you, Simone. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold. It doesn't matter what's going on. It's still the season. You're still there, right? You still got to deal with it. Now, if you let's say if you were like, I'm trying to find an example. Let's say you're like a squirrel, right? You know how they say squirrels squirrel away their nuts in the summertime to prepare for the winter, right? If you got rid of all your nuts, you won't have anything for the winter. So since it's a long-term play, and that was a terrible example, that sucked, because one, most squirrels never find their nuts again. They lose them. And two, this isn't about food, right? This is about investments long-term. Comedic knowledge, how are you? Chelsea, how are you? Thank you all for joining. So basically, if you get out of your deferred comp program, you're going to lose your opportunity of making that money back, right? So we saw the markets drop by 30% in the beginning of the year. We also saw the markets jump by 20% since then. So had you would have sold at the height of the panic when it was down 30%, you would have locked in that 30% gain. Let's say you had $10,000 in your deferred comp, right? And it lost 30%, so that's $3,000. So $3,000 subtract from 10, you had $7,000, right? So you were down $3,000. However, by waiting, and it wasn't even that long of a wait, right? By waiting, now your $10,000 isn't worth $7,000 anymore. It's now worth $9,000, right? So you kind of just saved yourself $9,000 by not panicking at the bottom where everybody else does. I mean, there's a saying called, when there's blood on the street, you should buy. Why should you buy? You should buy because things are on sale. Stock market is still on sale right now. And so I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't sell. However, Heather, I think you're a little older than me, but not by much. But I don't know when you want to retire, and I don't know what your goals are. So if your goals are to retire sometime soon, whether to start a new career or do something else, then yeah, you might want to think about reallocating your deferred comp. And anybody that's thinking about this, right? When we talk about deferred comp, just substitute the word 401k or 403b or whatever is applicable to you in your situation. But I don't know when you want to retire. If you have another 10, 20 years, I wouldn't sweat it. I wouldn't worry about it at all. You have plenty of time. Again, the market goes through cycles. The market goes up and down. The market will experience a lot of different things. Another Cash App. Thank you, Christopher Smith, for sending me $2. Thank you. So Heather, you were on to something. So maybe I should give you your money back. But again, be patient. Stock market's also like children, right? Stock does dumb stuff sometimes, and then as it matures, it gets better. And then you can see like your children do dumb stuff. Then as they get older, they do better. But every now and again, they still do something really, really dumb, and you got to forgive them and you have to let it go. But as they progress and as they get better, you see less dumb stuff. So that's kind of one thing to do. Okay, yes, it was a drastic back and forth that made me a little skeptical. And listen, this is one thing you can do. If it really gets bad, because I think we're still going to have a lot of volatility throughout the year, you can take all your money and you can go into cash. You don't want to take it out, right? And when you said high yield savings, I don't know if you've been taking it out of your investment options inside of your deferred comp and then going into your high yield investment options inside, or actually taking it all out. But if you take out all your money, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to pay some tax on it too. And we don't want tax. We don't want tax at all. All right, I see there's a comment or a question on YouTube. Jamar Thomas, how are you, sir? Have you heard of the app Personal Capital to track your net worth? If you do, use it or recommend it. I've heard of the app. I started testing it for a client. But I never finished. I'm just being honest. And I never finished because this one particular client that I was testing it out for never follows my advice anyway. Well, or very little. It doesn't follow enough. He says, you want me to do everything you tell me to do? And I say, yeah, pretty much. And he says, well, that's not realistic. I said, I have other clients that do that. And so since we go back and forth so much, I told him that I'm going to start talking about him on social media. I'm going to change his name, right? I'm going to protect the innocent. I'm going to change his name. I'm not going to do him dirty and put him out. But I'm going to talk about him because I think some of the things that he goes, that I think I know, some of the things that he goes through are things that a lot of other people deal with, and that they could be helpful to other folks. They could be helpful to other folks. Lamont Harris, how are you, sir? Thanks for joining us tonight. But you know what, Jamar, I'm gonna play with it. I'm gonna pull up Personal Capital because one of the things I do need to do better is start testing out some of these financial apps. I like Mint. Mint's cool. Mint's owned by the same people that own TurboTax, same people that own QuickBooks. Intuit. I like Mint. What I don't like about Mint is that Alton, I didn't see it. I'll scroll back up. Or if you could post it again, that'll be good. My apologies. I don't like Mint's. They too many ads. It's way too many ads. Brittany Michelle, how are you? Thank you for joining us. All right, Alton, I'm looking up your. Oh man. All right, so Alton asked this question. So, question I saw today: if you had the option to receive $1,300 weekly till you die, or a lump sum of $1.3 million now, what would you choose? This question has been asked so many times in so many different ways. It's hilarious. Now, I could give you the technical way about figuring out how to answer that question, but the question is easy for me. Let's see. Now, I want to know before I answer this question for everybody that's watching, y'all tell me what y'all would do. Would you rather have $1,300 a week, right, till death, or would you rather take 1.3 million right now? Right now. So I'm running. I already know what it is, but I want to be able to give y'all some numbers based upon what my answer's going to be. So, all right, tell me, y'all, what would y'all do? You taking the money? You taking the weekly payout? All right. So, Brittany Michelle says she's taking $1,300 a week. Alton says he take it out now. Anybody on YouTube or Facebook? What y'all got? All right, Jamar Thomas says, I've done men as well. Didn't like it. I really enjoy personal capital. All right, I might mess your name up, but D. Regello. My man BF and Krumah just sent me $2. Thank you, sir, if you're watching. With the economy now, I would take it now. Heather said, I'll take it right now because I want to be able to pay it forward. All right. Simone said now, hey, Zamira, everybody go follow Z. She is like the fit lady. This lady has like 4% body fat. And all she does is work out and eat good. It makes me feel fat every day. But hey, that's just my life. As I sit here and drink Coke. Don't kill me. It doesn't have that many calories because it's a mini Coke. It's a mini Coke. But I got water too. Regalo. I was close, wasn't I? I think I was close. All right, so it seems like I got one person that said 1,300. I got a couple people that said, oh man, Angelina Winter sent me $5. Heather, I think you're right. I see you're right. So 1,300, a couple tomorrow is never guaranteed. Leave it in there. No, you can't leave it in there. You got to take it. All right, so listen, $1,300 a week is roughly $62,000 a year. It's $62,000 a year. I think I just got another one for $10. Hey, I might have to do this more often. All right, Zamira says she'd take the money now. Hey, Chili, Auntie Ash, thank you all for joining. So again, $1,300 a week times 52 is roughly $62,000. How many times does $62,000 go into 1.3 billion? And this is actually a great question because this is how you should approach all money decisions. Hi, Purple Rain. How you doing? Oops. So $62,000 goes into 1.3 million, 20.9 times. So basically it would take 21 years at $1,300 a week to equal 1.3 million. So now you have to ask yourself, what's up, George? Now you have to ask yourself, would you rather wait 21, almost, let's just say 21 years. We want to even it off, right? Sometimes I got to fight myself to use even numbers instead of decimals and fractions. So you got 21 years. It's going to take you 21 years for that $1,300 a week payment to get to 1.3 million. Question you got to ask yourself, are you going to live 21 years? Like I was just talking about how fat I am, right? I might not got 21 years. I do got 21 years. So I'm joking, right? I do believe life and death lies in the power of the tongue. My mother drove that into me very young. So I'm not even going to play with that. But everybody doesn't have 21 years to live. But let's say you do have 21 years to live. What if you got 42 years to live? What if you got 50 years to live? If you got 51 years to live, you're going to make out like a fat rat taking a $1,300 a week payment. However, The question is, there's something called the time value of money. So do me a favor, somebody put in the chat, TVM, time value of money. All right. And so in time value of money, this is true financial 101 right here, right? Nobody shake my beard. Rich, what's up, Rich? Sydney's on here. Get out of here. What's up, Sid? All right, so we got TVM, time value of money. And time value of money states that $1 today is better than $1 tomorrow. $1 today is better than $1 tomorrow. So with that said, I'm taking the 1.3 million because I believe in my heart of hearts, I could honestly, I could take that 1.3 million and out and pay attention to this. I could take that 1.3 million and I could take, let's say 800,000 to $1 million and I could lock it up into what's called an annuity or some type of income producing investment and still generate $62,000 a year and have the other to play with. So I can kind of do both with the 1.3 million. And so I'm going to take this somewhere that y'all didn't ask me to, but I asked about life insurance, right? So I always tell y'all, I believe that everybody with children should have at least $1 million of life insurance coverage. Why? The math is simple for me. With $1 million, we can create $50,000 of income basically forever or almost forever. And so you created a lifetime of income. Yes, you may have some market falls. You may have some really, really kooky stuff. Because like COVID and the fallout from COVID isn't over. You're going to see a lot of funky things happen in real estate. Again, I said that. So I just want y'all to gain my credit when it happens. There was an article, I didn't get the chance to read the whole thing, but there was an article in the Wall Street Journal that talked about this lady that banked everything on Airbnb. Now she's SOL. And we don't know when people are going to start traveling again. We don't know what's going to happen. So when that lady that banked everything on Airbnb isn't able to pay her mortgages on the properties, what's going to happen to those properties? Right. Excuse me. Yes, Chili Davis, 1.3 can change your family tree, right? So that's part of the reason why I tell people to get at least $1 million in coverage. And listen, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Get as much as you possibly can. All right. But going back to the question, right? $1,300 a week versus $1,300 a week for life, right? Y'all see them lottery commercials. That's where all the stuff is coming from, right? Or 1.3 million in a lump sum. It's very much a lottery question. And I hate the lottery. But, there's reasons for that. There's reasons for that. I'm going to share this one story with you. I got a homegirl who's awesome. And she always says that I'm just waiting to hit that lottery. And I said, why are you waiting at the lottery? You are the lottery, right? You are the lottery. And then so last week, because she's been struggling, right? She's been putting in her work, but she's been struggling. Like anytime you're in business ain't sweet. These social media memes make it seem like it's Apple has ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. It's not. You're dealing with human dynamics, dealing with different personalities. You're dealing with a lady who just lost her boyfriend. You're dealing with, a man who just lost his wife, oftentimes. And so many times people don't realize how much emotional intelligence you need to effectively run a business. If any of y'all we're on Facebook and we're on IG, right? Mark Zuckerberg is the CEO. How much grief did they give Mark Zuckerberg because he's so socially awkward, right? And he doesn't really have great social graces. Same thing with Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. All these tech folks, right? Oh man, Touch Management just sent me $5. I love Bob's. Oh man, right on. If anybody knows me, knows I used to be part of an organization called I Love Bob's, and I would have a monthly Black business owners breakfast here in Philadelphia. Helped a lot of people. Definitely helped a lot of people. Now, did I miss any questions? But yeah, with that and outs, and that's why I was saying to pay attention, because again, life insurance is so powerful. Yes, 1 million in life insurance, at least at a minimum. Now, again, if you can't get it, you can't get it. I get it. Hey, Chef Larry, how you doing? If you can't get it, you can't get it. But you should try to get as close to it as possible. All right, so Regalo asked me a question, and I didn't get to it yet. Wendy's stock up 5%, Chili. That's what's up. All right, Regalo asks the question: is it a good time to start a Vanguard Fidelity long-term fund? That is a really, really hard question for me to answer. So, for the record, put all my cards out on the table. I think it's always a good time to invest in the market. If y'all notice, I'm pretty consistent. I say the same shit. Excuse me. I say the same things over and over and over again because that's what I believe. I think it's always a good time to invest in the market. I think the stock market, outside of life insurance, is the greatest financial tool. So it's the second greatest financial tool that's ever been created, in my opinion. Some people like to argue. Some people like to debate. But the reason why the United States is so powerful is because of the stock market and a strong legal system. So I would say, yes, it's always a good time to invest. Vanguard is great. Fidelity is okay. I would take Vanguard over Fidelity any day. Vanguard's funds are much lower cost than Fidelity. So I would take that. I would take Vanguard any day. Matter of fact, we were just talking about, we were kind of talking about the last video I did on oil on YouTube, where I was talking about different ways to invest in oil. So Vanguard has an oil sector stock called VDE, not VD like venereal disease, but just VDE. Vanguard, Vanguard Southern Energy, right? And so I think their fund is like 0.1%, the overall fee. It's like one of the cheapest in the industry, and it's getting decent rate of return. So that's one. I chose to invest in XLE. Again, none of these are investment recommendations. I lost my train of thought. Remember that. Dang. These are all for educational and entertainment purposes only, right? Past performance is not an indicator or indication of future results, all right? So just because something did good in the past doesn't mean it's going to have the same performance going early. Rich. All right, I just gave the disclaimer, right? Entertainment. Thank you, Edith. Entertainment purposes only. And so Rich is my guy. So, he's probably getting an answer out of me that most of y'all can't get, or a lot of y'all can't get. So I'm gonna give you one, right? We'll talk about this one. When you think about a stock, no, Alton, I am not all in on airline stocks. I am not all in on Boeing either. I think Boeing has I said Edith. I didn't say you were. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, so Mr. PDQ's name is Richard or Rich. So Edith, I was not referring to you as a man. So that's a little mix up there. I know you are a woman. Oh wow, got another Cash App. $2. I'll take it all day long. Right. So yes, Edith, you've been rocking with me for weeks, months now. I know you're a woman. I know you're a lady. Right. I know you're a lady. So no, my apologies for the confusion. But all right, so we're looking at like good stocks, right? Stocks that can survive in this downturn because it's going to get worse. I would be looking at a P&G. Why P&G? P&G sells every damn thing. And P&G has so many billion-dollar brands. It's crazy. I'm trying to think of some off the top, but I'm gonna go. Let me see if I can go to it right now. Like P&G makes toilet paper. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. No biggie. Anybody will tell you I am I'm respectful to anybody. I am ultra respectful of women though, because especially black women, they get it the worst. Y'all get it the worst, right? So no shade. No, I don't even do that. I don't even play like that. So Procter & Gamble is $117.08 right now, right? But like our mentor, my mentor in my mind, Warren Buffett says, when you're buying a stock, you're buying a company. You're buying a piece of a company. So would you like to own a piece of Pampers? I ain't bought diapers in years. Would you like to own a piece of Love's, the diapers? Would you like to own a piece of Ace? I don't even know what Ace is. It's some kind of laundry. Would you like to own a piece of Bounce? Bounce laundry. Who would like to own a piece of Downy or Dreft? Anybody remember Dreft, the baby detergent? Or Cheers? JP the King, how are you? Pastor Wendy Coop, how are you? Oh, yeah. It's in the home concierge. How are you? Where you been? Would you like to own a piece of Era, Game, Tide? Would you like to own a piece of Bounty? Would you like to own a piece of Charmin? Anybody remember the Charmin commercials where he would say, love my Charmin? Would you like to own any of those? Those are P&G brands. All right. Bounty, Charmin, Puffs, and Feminine Care Always, Tampax, Braun, Gillette, Venus, Gillette Venus, Head and Shoulders, right? Aussie, Herbal Essence, Old Spice. Old Spice stinks. I don't know who in the world still buys Old Spice, but it sells. It sells. Matter of fact, I think they got the black dude selling. Isn't that the dude that be running around with his shirt off on a horse a lot of times? Right. So yes. Yeah, good to see you too, kid. So Cascade, right? Comment. And then y'all done seen the memes, right? Throw the comment in the bathtub, walk away from it. It says like every black person, when they clean the tub, they put comment or what's the other one? Spick and span in there, and then they walk away like that's supposed to help, right? Dawn, who knows about Dawn? Febreze, Game, Joy, Mr. Clean, right? So, oh my God, like these folks, Crest, Fixodent, Oral-B. This is a Scope. I don't think P&G is going out of business anytime soon. Does anybody think? I didn't do the beard vote, Jasmine. How are you, by the way? Thanks for joining. Pepto-Bismol, Vicks, NyQuil, Ivy soap. Like, how many people still, and I think Ivy soap stinks too, but how many people still use Ivy soap? Oil Volay, Safeguard, Secret. Their list is not infinite, but goddamn, like, you don't get much better than that. So that's a company that will be here for a long time. Will it have changes? Absolutely. The world changes. The world changes every day. So, I'm not a crystal ball reader. I don't read Bones. I don't do any of that. But if I had, Rich, you can join it for a minute. If I had, and I only said a minute because I got YouTube and Facebook going, so I don't know how that's going to play there. But yeah, come on in for a minute, Rich. So I don't know any company that has that many brands. Right? They're never going to go out of business because consumers are dedicated. Now, I'm not going to say never, right? I never say never, but it probably won't be anytime soon. It probably won't be anytime soon. Now, anytime you look at the stock, you got to look at the money. You got to look at the money, right? So, in 2006, Procter & Gamble generated $65 billion. They had profit of $10.5 billion. All right. Again, in 2017, $65 billion. Again, another profit of 10.5 million. Now, again, remember, profit is when everybody is paid off, taxes paid, rent's paid, everybody's in clear. This is what you got left over. This is what you got left over. All right. Again, they made about 65 billion every year. And so in 2019, they made $66.8 billion. I mean, this company is a war horse. Now let's see how much. Oh, Mr. PDQ, how are you, sir?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Miss you, man. I ain't seen you in forever.
Yeah, ditto. I ain't seen you in person. I just watch you on social media right now.
Nah, we gotta put an end to that. You know, we too old for that. We rock way too far back for that. That's for these new jacks.
I only wanted to jump on because I kind of wanted you. I think, right. I think one of the biggest things that I think we struggle in as a community is investments and taking a chance with investments. And so I wanted to see what's your take on why is it such a scarcity and how we approach it, or even taking the opportunity to attempt to understand it. And the reason why I say that is I remember when I was a young boy, I had a cat say to me, he said, Rich, he said, what I want you to do is read the Wall Street Journal once a week. And I was like, wow. He was like, because that is one of the most precise financially literate things you could pick up that'll teach you about the financial market. And I didn't really listen then because I didn't get it at that point until I ended up in the banking industry. So I kind of wanted to get your take on that, and how you think we could change that, because right now this is the best time to really start understanding this game.
I totally agree.
I wish my beard look as good as yours, but it don't.
No, your beard looks better than mine. I got beard envy. You got the whole full, you know what I mean? Right. So for y'all non-Philly people, we talking Philly slang right now. It's all right though. But so I'll definitely answer that question. Matter of fact, I just did a podcast right before this, and they asked me that question, and I get that question a lot. Why are Black people afraid to invest? Right? Why are Black people afraid of the stock market? But before I do that, remember, you're tuned into the Financial Rebel Show. Today is Wealthy Wednesdays. I am Kamari Ellis, the Finance Rebel. Be sure to share this out with people who might want to know why Black people are afraid of the stock market. So to answer Rich's question, we Black people in general, and this is a generalization, right? There's 1,000,001 different reasons and 1,000,001 different ways you can go with this. But typically we don't like things we can't touch, see, smell, or feel. And I just said that all wrong, but you got the gist, right? All right, I just said it all wrong. But we don't trust systems also. And by the way, this is no knock on the community. This is a very real thing. There's a reason why we don't trust systems, because if you just do the history, if you do the history, you'll know why we don't trust systems. I'm going off on a little bit of a rant, but I'm still here with you, Rich. I want everybody to read this book called The Color of Law. Now, I've known Rich at least, I want to say 20 years or 15, somewhere. We've known each other for a long time. And Rich knows I've been kind of the same. I've been into the same thing for the most part. I've always been into our history. And when I say our history, I'm talking about Black history. I've always been into financial empowerment for our community. And so when you read this book, Color of Law, I forget the guy's name. It's by a white guy, Jewish guy too. He dissects redlining. Now, I knew redlining was bad. I knew it was real bad. If you ever follow like Ta-Nehisi Coates and any of those folks, they talk about it. They talk about how bad it was to our community. However, redlining, you could really tie redlining to a lot of our problems to current day, right now, 2020. But redlining, if nobody knows what it is, it's basically government policies where they literally drew red lines around neighborhoods where Black people lived, or quote unquote undesirable people lived, and they would not issue loans.
Kind of like redistricting. the community from the
yeah,
lower end to the higher end.
Kind of, sort of. But they wouldn't issue mortgages. If they found out that any black folks planned on living there, they will pull any funding from developers there, right? Redlining basically created the ghettos in our communities today because it and this might be a little too nerdy, but it put excess stress on the housing stock. So basically, when you got 20 people living in a house that's only meant for 8, that puts unnecessary stress on the house. And so part of the reason why many black communities, especially in urban and rural areas, look so dilapidated is because of the policies of redlining to this very day. And so when you look at COVID-19 and Corona and why, and this is no conspiracy theory, folks, I don't do conspiracy theories, but why the outbreak is so rampant in our communities, look at some of the effects of redlining and how many black folks and many poor people still live on top of each other. And it's not like that in many other communities, right? So going back to Richard's question, why are people afraid of the stock market? We don't trust systems because the systems here in this country and actually worldwide have always betrayed us. And that's very sad, but it's true. And I'm not here to point fingers. I'm only here to look at the facts, right? I'm not here to call any names. I'm just here to look at the facts. And the facts were black people could not invest in the stock market. If anybody saw the recent movie that came out on Apple called The Banker with Nia Long, you got to watch it. You will love it. You're a former banker. You will love it. Trust me when I tell you. Right. And when you watch it, I want you to come on and we're going to talk about it. But Nia Long was totally awesome. Sam Jackson and I forget the other guy's name, Falcon from the Avengers. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Phenomenal story of these black real estate investors who decided to buy a black bank. Couldn't buy a black bank. Why? Because they're black. So they had to get white proxies, right? There's another book I would love for you all to read also called Black Fortunes. It's the story about the first. All right. Oh, let me finish. I want you to talk about it. That's the story of the first black millionaires in the United States after slavery. And there is a story in that book about a company. Now, me and Richard are in Philadelphia, right? There is a suburb, I guess that's the proper term, suburb in Philadelphia called Derby. Some people wouldn't call it a suburb, but we're not talking about that today. There was a black-owned bus company out in Derby. And one of the guys had to pay a white person as a proxy to invest in the stock market. So I'm not trying to bore you out with all the history, but history forms everything that we deal with today. And again, I'm not trying to be cliche. If you don't know your history, you don't know your future, but it's very true, right? So you have to understand these things to have real perspective. So the family in Derby, PA, right outside of Philadelphia, hired a white guy to invest in the stock market. This is like around 1900, 1910-ish, somewhere around there. Made a boatload of money. But obviously, was that?
I said, I'm shaking my head like, yeah, he made a ton of money.
He made a boatload of money. Why don't give it to his kids, right? Using it for legacy wealth. But again, he had to go through a third party. And a lot of times when this did happen, he was one of the lucky ones. A lot of times when this did happen, people got ripped off. The white guy or white person just took off. What do they say now? Skated off with the bag or skated off with the plug, right? So that's real before, even modern day. So black folks are typically scared of those things. However, a lot of things have changed. Even though a lot of things have stayed the same, a lot of things have changed. There are more wealth creation opportunities now than our ancestors and elders could have ever imagined. Sadly, a lot of times we don't take advantage of them. And we should change that immediately. So to invest in the stock market, all you need is $1. Now, I'm broadcasting live on IG, on YouTube, and on Facebook. If I could pull up my Cash App, right? Because I tell everybody to use Cash App because you can buy fractional shares. I was telling people that Robinhood could do it, but Robinhood is on some other stuff. So everybody doesn't have access to it.
Fortune, Brittany.
Yes, Black Fortunes. And if anybody has ever followed my YouTube channel, which is just Kamari Ellis, I actually do book reviews a lot of times on Black-owned books. So check it out. Hey, let me know any other books, Black-owned books that you would love for me to review as well. But, oh, wow. Got another $2 Cash App. Thank you, Kirkland Emery. I appreciate you. All right, folks. So on my IG, I only have 1 minute and 30 seconds left. So, Rich, this is what I want to do. I want to end now. I want you to come back on and we can continue this conversation. All right, everybody on Facebook, I'm not leaving y'all out, but I knew Rich was going to come on and deliver something. Can y'all hear what he's saying? Is the reception all right? Did you hear me talk about, yep, color of law? Yes. Carol Allen, thank you for joining us. What is a margin call? That is a great question. I will definitely get to that. If y'all got questions, feel free to throw them in. I'm already at an hour. I told y'all I wasn't hanging with y'all all night. Ooh. And, so I told y'all I had to get this new computer. My new computer is touchscreen, and it's so weird. Oh man. This is, oh man, that's rough right there. All right, so give me 1 second. I'm trying to set back up the live. Instagram is not working with me right now for whatever reason. So bear with me 2 seconds, folks, and I will definitely answer your questions. While we're waiting, remember you're watching the Finance Rebel Show. I am Kamari Ellis, the Finance Rebel. Every week, every Wednesday, we do Wealthy Wednesdays. We're actually, I'm starting to do another show as well. I don't know if I'll be able to broadcast it live on IG because it's more of an interview show. But I'll be doing that on Saturdays at noon. So, Carol, why do you like stock that pay dividends? And just let me catch up. Carol, you're breaking my heart. All right, so a couple weeks ago, Carol, I asked everybody that was on my live. Again, I asked everybody that was on my live to never use what I'm giving them as powers for destruction. All right, so listen, I'll talk about investments, but I am very, very much community-minded. And core civics, and I won't mention these other folks, I think they're evil. I think they do people no good. And I don't believe in trading money in the place of oh man, what's the word? In a place of evil. Right? I think if you're evil, you stay over there, you do your evil thing, but I'm not trying to profit off of evil. So core civics is a private prison. Private prisons have been documented to thanks for everybody that's joining me coming back on. Core Civics is a company that's documented for doing all kind of wretched things to their prisoners, from rape to murder to assault. It's nothing good about them. And so to me, my soul is more important than money. All right. My soul is more important than money. I don't know where Rich is. He's supposed to be coming back on. So again, I asked that everybody do not invest in private prisons. Now, you gotta be careful with private prisons, right? Because private prisons are very slick. Most private prisons, oh man, we got another Cash App, Ricky Phillips. Thank you, Ricky. Most private prisons are listed as real estate companies. They're listed as real estate companies. And so it's very easy to say, oh, this real estate company pays a great dividend. This real estate company does very well. So I want to partake in their profits. But all along, they're literally beating, kicking, screwing, shooting, raping people all along to get those profits. So no, we cannot invest in evil people. Private prisons. So everybody that knows me, that's been rocking with me for a while, knows I say this pretty often, right? So I say penny stocks are the spawns of the devil. Private prisons are also the spawns of the devil. So I got to expound that list. Private prisons are the spawns of the devil. And yeah, a lot of people support them. And again, yes, they pay a very sexy dividend. Most of them. Because why? Because they're typically backed by either state or federal contracts. They're typically backed by corrupt laws that keep Black folks going in and out of jail, which keeps recidivism rates high. So now, sorry, Carol, I didn't mean to go on. Oh my God, Jasmine, thank you so much for the $20. Unilever. But Carol, like I was saying, I'm not trying to go on and on you, but I'm very passionate about people not investing in private prisons. Sorry for the rant. Yes, Chili, Kimberly-Clark is another one of those companies that will be around for a long time. P&G, Don Johnson, how are you? Thank you for joining. P&G is a diversified company as well. Very much of the likes of, well, I'm sorry. Kimberly-Clark is very much on the likes of P&G, but P&G is this monster. Solid company report earnings tomorrow. P&G reports tomorrow? I didn't know that. Unilever is a European company, very stable, very, very stable. All right, so what's a margin call? Carol Allen asked what a margin call is. I guess Rich isn't coming back, but I'll complete that question. What is a margin call? So when you set up various brokerage accounts, you have an option of doing this a straight cash account. And then you also have the option of doing what's called a margin account, which creates margin calls. But I'm going to get the margin calls in just a second. So you can do a margin account. And what a margin account is, it's like a brokerage company giving you money to buy stock. Almost like when banks and finance companies give you money to buy a mortgage, right? They're extending credit to you. They're extending debt to you. And so you can take that credit and you can buy stocks. If you go back to 1929, again, not to nerd out on y'all too much, but I'm a nerd and I like history, so we talk about it, and it's relevant when it comes to investing. The stock market crash of 1929 was created because too many people had too much margin, and they leveraged it. They had too much debt. They were over leveraged, and so what happens is in 1929, people got a bunch of margin calls. Because let's say in their account, let's say they had $1 million account with their margin. Their account was only worth, let's say, $900,000. And so when you get a margin call, they're asking you to restore that account back to $1 million. All right. So if you can imagine, let's say again in 1929, the great stock market crash, people didn't have $100,000 to restore their money up. Why? That $100,000 isn't theirs anymore, right? It's the brokerage company. That's the bank for stock people, right? The brokerage house. So they said they want their money. So when a margin call occurs, you have a certain period of time, I forget what it is off the top of my head, to fulfill that call, basically get money into the account to fulfill it and bring it back up to its respective levels. If you don't do that, the brokerage company takes hold of your account and they will sell off all your investments, regardless of if they're up, if they're down, regardless of whatever your strategy or intentions are to get their money. And so once they do that, it's a wrap. You'll get your money back sometimes if there's anything left over, but for the most part, it usually is not. It usually is not. Oh, Heather's back. Heather, I've been balling, 68 balling. How are you? I just got $20. Jasmine gave me $20. Shout out to Jasmine. Jasmine's dope. Jasmine, by the way, I got a new computer. If you're looking at this from YouTube, my picture is so much better now. It's so much better now. All right, so Carol says she likes to pay dividends. She likes stocks to pay dividends. I do too. Dividend stocks are the best form of passive income. Now people are talking about you need seven streams of income to become wealthy. That's actually not true. That's just something people have kind of adopted based on MLM or multi-level marketing sales pitches, and it kind of made it their own. What's really true is that wealthy people have 7 streams of income. They didn't necessarily use 7 streams of income to get wealthy or get rich. It's usually 1 or 2 that gets them there. And then what happens is when they get there, they take the other money off and they buy other investments that then create other streams of income. But the way I just kind of described it isn't sexy, right? It doesn't help them sell, right? So they just want the quick, fast, and dirty. They don't want the real truth. I'm finding that most people don't want the real truth. All right. So yes, Edith, the color of law. All right, Rich, you're back. Summit Financial. How are you, sir? Eric's back. How are you? Y'all just missed a nice long description of margin calls. You would have loved it. Got another $2 in the Cash App. Man, God is good today. Well, God is good every day, right? Yes, Color of Law by Richard Rothstein. So, right, like I said, you got this Jewish guy writing his book about redlining and how bad it was, how devastating it was. My Cash App is just Kamari Ellis Senior Rich, about how devastating it was. And he wrote this book. Again, I would encourage everybody to read that book. Like, so, Rich, when you come back on, you asked the question, right? So he asked me the question about why don't Black people invest in stocks? And I started talking about that. But I feel like oftentimes we do a disjustice to education and history. And we do a disjustice to history a lot of times because we need to go back and look and see how the thing was constructed so we can then deconstruct it. We need to understand how it came about. We need to understand the mindset that went into it. We need to understand the mechanisms that they use to keep Black people down. Blue Gino, what's up, man? Where you been? Congratulations. I saw you got remarried. Dallas Universe, how are you? So you need to go back and you need to be able to reconstruct it. You need to understand what it was built on. And this book does an excellent job of that. Yes, it's kind of like the movie The Banker. The movie The Banker talked about that. And the movie The Banker, they talked about how Blacks were not able to get loans by many of the banks. That was definitely a byproduct of redlining. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, The Banker is on Apple TV. That's good. It's here for you. Oh man, Kelly, Raquel just gave me $2. I agree with Kelly or Raquel. Thank you, Raquel. Yes, Black Fortunes by Shamari Wills. Another excellent book. So I'm glad y'all keeping track of the book recommendations. Now here's the question. I'm giving y'all these book recommendations. Who's actually going to read the books? And then I want y'all to come on here and talk with me about those books and what you got from the books. Because listen, I believe in reading the books, right? But it's one thing to read a book. It's a harder thing to read the book and then do something with the knowledge that you got out of the book. It's not enough to just read the book. You have to then do something to once you read the book, once you got the knowledge. Yes, Chile, and slavery, they kept people from reading. Many people take knowledge for granted. Absolutely. Every day. You got folks walking around with cell phones with the whole world in their hands. Remember that old gospel song, I got the whole world in my hands? They don't do anything with it. They don't do anything with it. Hold on. Please review Epigenics by Joel Wallish. What's that about, Carol? Tell me what that is about. I believe we have been systematically trained to not want better for ourselves. PDQ, thank you, Rich. I appreciate you, bro. I believe we have been systematically trained to not want better for ourselves, or that we can't do this or that. I would agree. I would agree a lot with that. I would agree a lot with that. However, my question is that now that you know that, what are you going to do about it? And are you going to continue to remain in the training, or remain a disciple to the training, or a slave to the training, and not break out and start to think for yourselves? But most social constructs are not built by the people that most love them or most embrace them. So, again, what do you want to do about it? What are you going to do differently going forward with your family? All right, so I've never heard of epigenetics. If somebody could Google that for me, or throw it in, or Carol, you tell me what it's about a little bit. This is my first time watching your lives. Well, Carol, I hope you are enjoying it. I hope you are enjoying it. Tamara says, I love listening into chats like this. Thank you, sir. Well, I hope I'm not just here for y'all to listen to me, right? I hope you are getting something that you can take out and use. I might be pretty, but I don't want y'all just to look at me. So Carol said something I thought was interesting. I got into it because I used to date a corrections officer that worked for Whack-A-Hut. Okay, I got you. Listen, this is a no judgment zone. All I care about is the facts here, right? So, I say things, I'm not trying to insult or offend anybody. Everything I say, honestly, is in love, or I try to be in love, right? Or I try to say things in love. But sometimes people take things a certain kind of way. Most times that's not the intent. So Carol says, I invest in passive stocks. That's why I look at stocks that pay dividends. Right. I got you. The companies are well established. Yes. So let's talk about growth stocks versus dividend. Let's talk about growth stocks versus, oh my goodness, I am drawing a blank. Growth versus value. Growth versus value. Wow. How did I mess that up? Yes, Edith. Please state some dividend stocks for information and entertainment purposes only. Thank you. You are my parliamentarian. Keep me on watch, right? So I ain't out here reckless. Yeah, so you have growth stocks and you have value stocks, right? Growth stocks are your brand new stocks, usually that are fresh out the box. You might think of a Google, you might think of a Facebook, you might think of an Uber, you might think of a Lyft, you might think of any company that's kind of brand new and out the box and just started being traded publicly. They are not usually mature enough to take money and allocate it back to investors, because that's what a dividend is, right? A dividend is a payment back to the investors. Now, once you become a value company, many value companies pay dividends. Now, listen, none of these things are absolute. None of these things are etched in stone. You have some people who, you have some growth companies that pay a dividend, and you have some value companies that do not. All right, but keep in mind that, oh wow, Mr. Johnson, thank you, sir. $10 bucks. Wow, this is y'all blowing my mind right now. So you have value stocks, you have growth stocks. Doesn't mean that one follows either way, right? So if we could think about that, your value companies are companies, like Carol said, are more established. They have well-documented processes. They have hiring practices. They have an HR director. They got a finance director. People that work there typically get paid. It's not a problem. Sometimes some of these new upstarts, like we're calling the growth companies, don't have those same type of luxuries. However, However, the growth stocks are usually the ones that, grow like gangbusters, that do very, very well. The value stocks, they're not as sexy anymore. They're like, let's stick to the men, right? You got the young strapping gentleman that still has his full head of hair, right? It's black. There's no grays. He's in shape. He can still run around, spend money and have fun, right? But then he gets a little older and he loses his hair, right? He still creates value, but it's not that same. It's not that same type of value, right? It's slow and steady type value where the young strapping young man is, a busy bee all over the place and just has ample energy. All right. So that's the best advice I could have. So Rich, why do you come back? This is a boss microphone. Well, thank you, sir. So yes, they are. All right. So Chili says they stopped average people from investing. Now we have accredited investors. Yeah. Chili, we've had accredited investors for a long time, right? Even when we didn't have accredited investors, regular people needed a whole lot more money to invest, right? Right now, people can literally invest with $1. You only need $1. $1. Somebody put $1 in the chat, please. $1. That's all you need. Like I said, I bought $10 worth of Amazon in November. Only $10. And part of the reason why I started promoting, I've always been talking about stocks, right? But when Cash App made it possible to buy fractional shares, and they're not new, right? There's other people that do it. But when Cash App started doing that, I said, hey, this is a great opportunity for regular people that look like you and I to, oh, wow. I got some more money, y'all, $2 and then another 20. So I think I'm doing all right. Where's Heather at? Is Heather still here? I got to thank Heather. She was the one that pushed me to do this. So thank you, Heather. Gene, how are you, sir? So, again, I lost my place, y'all. See, that's what happens when you lose your hair, Edith, right? I'm value. I still got value, but I'm not, no young spring chicken no more. But, I know what I was saying. So back in the day, let's just go back to the 70s or even the 80s. You needed like a minimum of $5,000, sometimes more, just to open a brokerage account. Now you need $1, and I didn't see anybody put $1 in the chat. Somebody put $1, and there it is. I saw Chili. Chili always holds me down. Thank you, sir. It's just jokes. It's just jokes. It's just jokes. That's all. Hi, Hannah. How you doing? So, if you want an example of dividend stocks, GE is a dividend stock. I'll give you some dividend stocks. Now, what you have to do when you're investing in dividend stocks, you have to make sure you're not getting trapped up into the dividend stocks. So they have this phrase called dividend trap. And so a company may pay a great dividend. A company may pay a 10% dividend, a 13% dividend, right? Oh, wow. Somebody just sent me $25, y'all. Like, I'm thoroughly blown away. Geez. Yeah, y'all see I'm all kind of twisted, right? So I'm going to read off some of the dividend aristocrats. So some of the dividend aristocrats, if anybody wants examples of dividends, look up dividend aristocrats. There's like a whole group of stocks that they kind of call dividend aristocrats. So let me find some of them for you. So your 3Ms, your P&Gs, your GEs. GE is no longer on. GE is no longer listed on the Dow Jones, but it's still kind of considered an aristocrat because it's paid dividends for such a long time. All right, that list isn't coming up fast enough for me. Give me 1 second, y'all. Bear with me 1 second. So, all right, your Exxon Mobil's. Wow, Latia Parker. Thank you, Latia, for your $2. Johnson & Johnson, Verizon, Gilead Sciences. Has anybody been paying attention to the news? With Gilead, Gilead has been creating this quote-unquote coronavirus vaccination. Now, Dr. Fauci said it had minimal results in terms of helping people not die from it, but it's there. All right, so Gilead is one. Ambiv, I always say the company's name wrong. Duke Energy, Chevron, right? So you can look up some of these, right? And these will definitely help give you investing ideas. Southern Company, Altria. Altria is the old Philip Morris. So they sell cigarettes. I'm not super big on cigarettes. My parents and my whole family used to smoke. Warning, little rant here. My whole family used to smoke. And the one thing I always wondered, right, was like, y'all know there's smoke here. Y'all know there's smoke. Everybody talks about secondhand smoke, but y'all will still smoke in the house. So y'all have no problem with killing me. But, you know, as I got older and I learned about addiction and how addiction basically takes over the body, I got it. But again, going back on my theme about private prisons, I try my very best not to invest or be involved with anything that is intentionally hurtful. So Wells Fargo, P&G, Abbott, Pfizer, PepsiCo, Archer Daniels Midland. Anybody know what Archer Daniels Midland does? Anybody? No cheating either. No Google. All right, so those are just some examples of stocks like that. Okay. Whenever I buy stocks, I transfer money from my bank to the brokerage firm. So I don't understand why I got a margin call last week. Well, you got a margin call last week, Carol, because you must have a margin account. I would need to see more about it. I would need to see more of it to like help you with that. Send me an email offline and I can definitely help you with that. There, I will throw, I think, or you can send me a text as well. My text number is 484-278-1357. 9 times out of 10, I'm usually busy, so don't call because 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to answer. Send me a text and I'll definitely respond and get back to you. Paradise Cleaning, how are you? Bald heads are all right. Stop putting us old heads down. I'm not putting us old heads down. I'm just saying. Oh, there you are, Rich. I didn't know you came back. D. Lee, how are you, sir? D, did I see you send me a Cash App earlier? I thought that was you. Oh man, you got libation?
Yo, bro.
You got
me that sent that mic joint. That was your girl.
Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
How about the you got a fancy mic thing?
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm snitching.
Tell Jack I said hello.
She can hear you.
She can hear me. Tell her she dissed me the other day, but it's cool.
Always eavesdrop.
That's her job. I ain't mad at that.
Don't jump on the line.
Queenie K, what's up? Queenie K, I can't see who you actually are. Your picture's too small. I'm trying to see your name. Oh, that's your people's. Okay. So
listen.
So did you hear what I said about why blacks don't invest in stocks?
Yes.
Okay. So what was your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I agree. I mean, I remember when I was in banking, a lot of the older people, I mean, they had CDs, right? They would have $100,000 in the CDs, and then I try to transition them from the CDs over into doing some investment. And a lot of them will blatantly say, "No, these white folks have burnt me out of money. I will never trust it again." And not like one or two. I had plenty of them, make that remark.
Yeah.
From that generation.
Right. And it's funny, right? People don't realize that there's theories that there's certain memories trapped in our DNA. I'm not trying to get woo-woo, but there's lessons that grandmom and my mom and pop and Nana taught us that we might not can be able to bring to the surface like right away and say, oh, I heard Nana say that. But it's in there because we heard it. And it becomes a part of our overall operating system. And so we've never had anything else to overcome that. So yeah, a lot of people feel that white folks have done them wrong and they don't want to invest any money in the banks. They don't want to invest any money in stocks. I mean, you literally have people that still have money under their mattresses.
Yeah, you did facts. That is true.
Yeah.
I had a gentleman one time. I talked to him doing the CD when I was managing the Think Therefore and Every, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the CD was paying like 4.5%, which was, wasn't a real money, but it was rare because it was,
that's pretty high, right?
Yeah, right. He brought me $10,000 cash from under his mattress.
Yeah.
I was like, so you just had money at the house? He said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay. Like, so I understand that mentality.
Yeah.
I think now too, but with our generation, with the whole investing piece is taking an opportunity to learn. And also I look at investment like this. If you find yourself purchasing a particular brand or item all the time, you might want to look into that brand and see how much that stock is going for. If you're going to be putting your money there, you might as well own some of it that you investing your money in.
So you know why I brought $10 on Amazon?
Huh?
Do you know why I brought $10 on Amazon?
No, I need to buy $10 on Amazon. Last time I looked, they stock was going for like $1,200 or something like that.
More like 17, 18. But I brought Amazon stock right to your point. So, and this isn't my idea. I'll think of the guy whose idea it was originally. But I use Amazon all the time. I'm buying products off Amazon. So if Amazon is able to make money off me, why can't I make money off Amazon? Right? I don't know if you saw my Jordan video. They got a lot of exposure. So I basically said, if you own a pair of Jordans and you don't own at least one share of Nike stock, you're hustling backwards. Because your average pair of Jordans are anywhere from $150 to $225 on average.
Right.
On average.
Right.
Nike stock right now is $88.07.
I want to buy some tomorrow.
Right. So, and even if you don't have the whole $88, you can buy $10 worth. You can buy $5 worth. You can buy something. I mean, the other one I brought was Starbucks. I go to Starbucks a lot. Right. I used to go to Starbucks a lot. So
Dunkin' Donuts is another one on my bread.
Well, Dunkin' isn't just Dunkin'. Dunkin' actually is owned by Dunkin', but they have a whole lot of other brands under there. They're like a holding company. But if I go to Starbucks and let's say I spend an average of $4, right? And let's say I go to Starbucks 5 times a week, I'm spending $20 a week at Starbucks. Why not just sacrifice 1 week and buy $20 worth of Starbucks?
Facts.
You're never going to get the money back that you spent at Starbucks. Outside of the coffee might be good. The coffee might be, I guess.
I don't even drink coffee, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you too cool for coffee. I'm addicted. Wow, Carol Allen said she bought Nike when it was $68. Nice move, Carol. Nice move.
Definitely.
Nice move. Carol also says, I'm new to investing, so I guess I need to change that. Yes, Carol, you should definitely change that because you don't want to continue to get margin calls. All right, so Carol Hawkins.
Looking at Robinhood and using Robinhood for all my stock.
Yeah. So Robinhood is cool. I like Cash App better because Cash App is able to buy fractional shares. So you can use $1 and buy a share or a piece of a stock on Cash App. You can't do that on Robinhood. There's a button on there. I got a whole YouTube video. I'll send it to you. It walks you through it. But Rich, while you're on this, is kind of on the topic, right? Carol Hawkins asks, what's your thoughts on group economics / investing together, either in real estate or in any other investment? So
I think group economics is one of the ways that we could alleviate poverty in the Black community if we utilize it right. But we have such a distrust amongst us as a people that I don't think that group economics could ever actually do what it's capable of doing, because we have so much distrust amongst ourselves.
Yeah, I would totally agree. But I want to say this about group economics, right? So there's so many lies that are put out in mainstream media. This whole idea of pull yourself up by bootstraps, this whole idea of rugged individualism. But when you look at the United States banking system, financial system, the United States legal system, it's all groups. What's banking? Banking is nothing but cooperative economics or group economics. What's a hedge fund? It's nothing but cooperative economics or group investing, right? Insurance is solely based off of pooling money. What's pooling money? It's cooperative economics. It's investing. Same thing. So dominant society has used all these tools, all these vehicles to elevate themselves from a structural standpoint. The Black community could do the same as well. Now, with that said, I will not invest in anybody's fund or anybody's group economics just because they're Black. Some people don't like me for saying that, but I'm just keeping it real, because some people don't have a clue about what they're doing. And some people
you can just say that, bro, without giving context, though.
I'm going there. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Let it breathe a little bit. Right? So you'll have some people say this is the new best thing since sliced bread. Basically, this is the new lottery ticket. Right? Yeah. So they have no idea of how business works. They have no idea of how investments work. They have no idea how the law works. They have no idea of how to coordinate things. And so there are some investments, that group economics, that I won't do, because I'm not just going to throw away money just for the sake of throwing away money. I get questions all the time about various investments. I'm not saying no names. Either. She just said it too, right? Because listen, I'm not here to diss anybody either, right? They might figure it out at some point, and if they do, I'm rooting for them. But people don't realize the position I'm in a lot of times, and as being an advisor, I have to be what's called a fiduciary. And so the question is, would you tell your grandma to invest in this? Do you think your grandma would make money off this? Right. And so if you're not going to recommend it to your grandma, you shouldn't be recommending it to anybody. And so there's certain investments I'm just not going to recommend or speak on just because I don't necessarily believe in it. Right. Chuck D said it. Every brother ain't a brother. Right. So like, we cannot ignore that. So I can't just blindly say I'm going to give up XYZ dollar just because we have a same or similar skin complexion, because then I want to talk about it, right? And then the people that are on this live and that have been giving me this money through Cash App are going to say, oh, Kamari believes in this. Like, I take stewardship very seriously. And so I'm not going to bring you something that I won't do myself. And Rich knows that. So Rich and many of my other friends will call me a stiff neck sometimes.
Can I tell a story real quick?
As long as it's not too embarrassing.
No, I'm not going to embarrass you, but
you might.
You always change. You change my psyche on the misuse of that word, the N-word, right? And I remember when we first met, and I was like, "Yo, my nigga, what's up?" And you was like, you paused me from the rip, like, "Yo, fam, listen, I love you and everything. I don't mess with that word. Please do not refer to me as that word." And I think it took me probably like a year or two to really grasp what you meant and how you felt about that, right?
It took longer than that.
I never refer to you as that, though, right? It's just...
It slips sometimes.
Sometimes. Most of the time when I'm in your presence, I don't use it because I know how you feel about it. And I think if we felt that way about how we interact with each other on a daily basis, and understanding and applying that to financial literacy, you could change the dynamics of how we allow things to happen in our communities. Like I always say, gentrification doesn't have to happen; we allow it to happen.
Right. And so, like going to that point, right? I know a lot of people feel that we remixed that word, right? But I'm big into history, and so how do we remix that word that we didn't come up with? That word still carries so much baggage. That word still carries massive baggage to this day. And so we allowed someone to interject something into our psyche, into our culture that should have never been there in the first place. Now everybody feels that I'm way too serious about it. But then I always think back, like, how would my grandmother feel if I'm walking around calling people that word and acknowledging that word? She wouldn't like it. I love my grandma to death. Like, one of the things that we've totally lost, I'm not gonna say totally lost, but a lot of us have lost, and we're kind of getting away from money right now. But we really lost the sense and love of our culture, the sense and love of our family, like not just our immediate family that's here right now, but our ancestors. Like, do you think when they were on the slave plantation that they enjoyed that word? Now, for the record, enslaved people absolutely did embrace that word on the slave plantation, right? But not all of them, not most of them. So, right, I talk about history. History will help shape a lot of things if you read from different perspectives and be able to understand it. But I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. You did kind of embarrass me a little bit. I try to hide some of my what do they call it? My radical. They say I'm radical because I don't want to be called the N-word. Yeah, they say I'm radical because I don't want to be called the N-word. Right? You know, like that's such a great thing.
Listen. So with the whole stock thing, right? With the economy being the way it is right now, and for those who don't have that literacy behind understanding stock or taking an attempt to understand it, what would you say would be a good ideal for them to go study so they can have someone to understand it, so they won't continue to be behind the eight ball?
I mean, everybody has a cell phone in their pocket. Google. You can read various books, read anything on Warren Buffett. Warren hasn't really written any books. People are just writing books about this book right here. I don't know if that's in focus. I think everybody should read this book right here, How Money Works. It's a very simple and easy read. Because to really be a boss and I hate that word, in order to really kill the stock market game, you really have to understand money and you have to understand economics. And so I would say get into this because this talks about money. It talks about accounting, right? You need to understand accounting to really understand, because accounting is the language of business. Right. Karan, shout out to Karan. He said he learned by just jumping in. But Karan, I'm sure you've read something or talked with somebody that that gave you some guidance on that, Karan. Even if it was a CNBC or Bloomberg, or you heard somebody talk about it. There is a book.
I agree with you. They got to be interested, but sometimes you have to be, your interest has to be sparked for you to get into it. But I agree with what you're saying, though.
Peter Lynch. So Peter Lynch was who I was thinking about earlier when he basically said, buy what you know. Old white dude, made a bunch of money at Fidelity. Got a bunch of books. I like a lot of his books. One Up on Wall Street is another one. Learn to Earn and Beating the Street. So you got 3 books by Peter Lynch that I think are awesome. One Up on Wall Street, Beating the Street, and Learn to Earn. And I'm gonna tell you a free thing I think everybody can do right now. Just Google Warren Buffett's annual letter. Warren Buffett's annual letter. So Warren Buffett every year sends a letter to his investors in Berkshire Hathaway. And he talks about everything in the economy and how to think about things. I like Warren probably the best. So that's what I would say. So Ms. Parker says a lot of. I'm reading a comment. Ms. Parker says a lot of our people are only interested when they see people post games. Yes, Ms. Parker, you are 1,000% correct, Ms. Parker. Hey, Ms. Parker. I couldn't resist that one. I couldn't resist that one. Yes. So let's see. I'm gonna come to you, Miss Carol, but just to kind of put a period on that. Yeah, people like to follow, right? And people like to follow the wrong stuff. Sadly. And so like people buy my stuff now. And I don't like that because I know a lot of times they're not really putting homework and research into it. But can you imagine if I had 1 million subscribers or friends online, how bad that could be, how reckless I could be, with people just blindly following me? Like, I really don't want nobody blindly following me. If I talk about it, yeah, but I still don't want it, and I'm still going to speak about it. So if I talk about an investment, you are to research it. You should never blindly say, I'm going to do it. It's funny. I put up, I want to find this. There's a quote by Dr. Henry Clark. And he says that real education is always about, for paraphrasing, it's always about liberation, right? It's not about kind of having people be enslaved to you and following you. It's really about having people kind of lift themselves up. I hate to say this, by their bootstraps, get some knowledge and continue to learn and become masters in their own right. So, I don't want any devotees, so to speak.
You also got to remember that we now live in a generation where everybody wants it now. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to reach it down. Then what's my point? You know what I'm saying? And regardless of the generation we come from, that's the reality of today.
You know what, though? I'm going to push back on you. I think that's the reality of every day in time. Jim Jones had all them people go to Guyana and drink the red Kool-Aid, right? I mean, but seriously, like, think about that. I mean, I ain't gonna go there. I was gonna say somebody in power has a very similar following, but you kind of get the gist. A lot of people don't want to think for themselves. It hurts when they use the electricity inside their brains for some odd reason. Because the greatest thing God gave us is between our two ears. And many of us don't want to use it. So again, research anything that I share with you. But bro, I'm gonna hop off right now because I'm gonna wrap this up because I haven't had any dinner yet. But I appreciate you. Listen, you gonna read the book? You gonna read the book?
Yeah, well, hold on, which one we talking about?
The Color Law.
I gotta get it. Once I get it, I'll read it. Yeah.
All right.
I got a couple other ones on my. I want to read The Scoop by the Door.
Yes.
I want to read Message to the Black Man.
You never read that?
No, I never read it.
Yeah, you sure.
I'm a little behind.
Okay. You ain't behind. You right on time.
Yeah, I gotta catch up. I mean, I'm supposed to be writing another one, and I ain't even done that. I'm behind, bro.
Oh, matter of fact, before you go, Rich, plug your book. Thank you, Brandy Hayes, for your gift.
Wow, bro, love you, man.
No. Plug your book.
Nope. Love you.
Later. So Rich is actually an author, y'all. Mr. PDQ is an author. His book is titled Fear of Becoming a Man. So I'm going to plug his book. It's got rave reviews. I started it. I didn't finish. I got to finish it. It's, from what I've read, though, it's great. I'm very proud of him. Been friends with Rich, like in real life. Been friends with Rich for years. So I'm proud that he wrote that book. All right. So Ms. Carol Allen says, my main investment strategy is delinquent tax property. All right. That's cool. How Money Works by DK. Okay, Carol, you said I print those letters out from Berkshire's website. I went back. That's impressive. Went back to 1978, still reading. Yes, please check back in and let me know what you think about them. You think those letters go back to 65? I haven't read that far back. It hurts. It hurts when they use their brain. Yes, it does. I think it does. I'm a woman, and I've read Message to the Black Man. It helps me understand what men are going through and why they treat women the way they do. Some men. Some men. All right. Let's see. So I ain't gonna stay on too long tonight, y'all. I gotta do some work. No, Miss Edie, you cannot blindly follow me. You can feel my truth, but what happens if one day somebody hits me upside my head and my truth changes? You can't trust me. All right. You can only trust you. You are responsible for you. We all have to take up a level of personal responsibility, right? What happens if I fall off the face of the earth? What are you going to do then? You can't put that much faith in a man. Only put that much faith in God. Whoever your God may be. Right? Freetown 82, thank you for joining. Did I miss? Yeah, Karan. Yeah, I would also watch, again, anything with Charlie Munger, who was Warren Buffett's partner. Karan just sparked my memory. They do these shareholders talks where they just talk shop. They talk about investing. They talk about everything. And they're very insightful. Charlie Munger is the man. AC Trey, a lot of our people are only interested. Right. Miss Parker, you are right. You are right. And Karan, I want to go back to you said you learned investing by just jumping in. Yeah. But again, and I do think we should jump in early with a little bit of money, right? Katie and Father, how are you? Thank you for joining us again this week. But again, join with a little bit of money. I never want to see anybody throw their entire life savings into a vehicle that they don't understand. You can start with $10. You can start with $20. Something that you won't miss if you lose it all. Again, all of your investments should be something that you won't miss if you lost it all. Something you won't need for 10 years or more. So I am out about time. I've been on for almost 2 hours. It looks like I'm pretty sure my IG will be going. IG kind of dominated the session, folks. I hope nobody felt left out. Listen, Saturday, I will be doing an interview with Sonia, the student loan doctor. So if anybody has any questions about student loans, we'll be on Saturday on Facebook, on YouTube. You can find me there at noon. Saturday at noon, we'll be talking about student loans. So make sure everybody's there with their pen and pad, and we can continue to learn. You know, invest in the stock market, but at the same time, try to figure out how to deal with our debts all at the same time. Listen, I can't tell y'all how overwhelmed I am right now. I kind of did the Cash App thing. I don't want to say as a fluke, right? Because it wasn't a fluke, but again, my homegirl pushed me. I was not going to do it. And I am overwhelmed by all the amount of support. Listen, I just got $2. I was happy, but clearly I got way more than that. And there's way more people out there supporting me than I even realized. So again, thank you. Gratitude. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for participating. Thank you. So I didn't have to just sit up here and talk to myself, because I like it when interacting. I mean, when I first started doing this, I was on radio and I got to interact with the callers. That's what kind of drew me to this, because it's like I could teach here all at the same time. So again, I appreciate you all for joining me every week. Again, we'll be back this Saturday at noon with Sonia, the student loan doctor, and we will be back next week, next Wednesday, 8 p.m. If y'all all would like to help me some more, I would appreciate if you could go to my YouTube page and subscribe. So that's my big push, right? That's my ask. That's the wrong title. Putting it up on the screen now. Put it up on the screen now. But that's where I'm putting a lot of focus to, a lot of energy on, is on YouTube, growing my YouTube page. I believe if I grow my YouTube page, it helps me get found in the Google search rankings. Google search rankings help me get found by the whole world. So again, next week, we'll be here, same Rebel time, same Rebel channel. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.